Cheating moments in the NBA. The NBA has the best players in the world, and they all compete for glory and fame. However, when the competition gets too intense, some players resort to cheating to win the game, and it can take many forms, as we'll see during this video. These are the best cheating moments in the NBA. We start with one of the most common NBA cheats, flopping. This is the act of exaggerating or faking contact so that the referees will call foul. It's considered a form of cheating because it deceives the referees and gives an unfair advantage to the player doing it. Flopping is also frowned upon by many fans who consider it a sign of disrespect for the game, and the league has adopted financial penalties for players who do it. But I have to admit, some of these performances deserve an Oscar. One of the players with the most iconic flops is LeBron James, who has been accused of flopping multiple times throughout his career. One of his most infamous examples occurred in the 2013 Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers, when both players fell to the floor after a slight push. Apparently, somebody threw a phantom elbow to LeBron's face. That, or he got hit by reality. This is Marcus Smart, a new addition to the Memphis Grizzlies. He flops more than a fish out of water. Smart is known for his defensive prowess, and I personally think he is one of the best floppers in the NBA. One of his greatest flops occurred in the 2018 playoffs against the Milwaukee Bucks. Watch as he supposedly gets KO'd by Giannis, and down went Smart.
Is there anyone on your bench that you feel can give you a jolt?
His acting coach was so proud of him that day. How does a guy with Smart in his name act so dumb? Tampering is the act of interfering with another team's players or personnel, either directly or indirectly, to influence their decisions or actions. It is considered a form of cheating because it violates NBA rules and regulations and undermines the fairness and integrity of the game. One of the NBA's most notorious manipulators is Magic Johnson, who was fined several times by the league for his comments and actions regarding players on other teams. One of his most famous tampering incidents occurred in 2018 when he was fined $50,000 for praising Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo in an interview. Johnson said Antetokounmpo had MVP potential to lead his team to a championship, which was interpreted as a sign of interest from Johnson's team, the Los Angeles Lakers. This was not the only case in which the league fined Magic, as sometime earlier, the NBA fined him $500,000 for a similar situation with Paul George. Another player who has been fined for tampering is Draymond Green, who plays for the Golden State Warriors. Green has a tendency to recruit other players to join his team. One of his most blatant attempts at manipulation occurred in 2020. When he participated in NBA on TNT, Green said publicly that Booker needed to leave Phoenix and play for a winning team, which was deemed a violation, and he was fined $50,000.
It's great to see Book playing well and Phoenix playing well, but get my man out of Phoenix. It's not good for him. It's not good for his career. Sorry, Chuck. But they got to get Book out of Phoenix. I need my man to go somewhere where he can play great basketball all the time and win, because he's that type of player.
Are you tampering?
Maybe.
A different form of cheating is simply faking injuries. It's considered a form of cheating because it misleads fans and the media and affects the outcome of games and seasons. In addition, the NBA is not fond of resting stars during national TV games. One of the most well-known fakers in the NBA is Kawhi Leonard, who now plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi has suffered a lot of injuries during his career, but some critics have accused Leonard of faking injuries or exaggerating their severity to justify his absences. One of these incidents occurred in 2018 when he played only 9 games for the San Antonio Spurs due to a mysterious quadriceps injury. Leonard's injury caused a rift between him and the team and ultimately led to his trade request and departure from San Antonio to Toronto. But then he went to the Clippers and the situation didn't get better. You know, fans say he's a robot. If that's the case, then maybe he's programmed to fake injuries. The Spurs are a team with extensive experience in this area. In November 2012, the prime Spurs were about to play a regular season game against LeBron James' Heat when Greg Popovich decided to rest Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili. That didn't sit well with David Stern, and they were fined $250,000. I guess it was a spur-of-the-moment decision. The use of illegal substances, drug use, or injection of performance-enhancing or pain-masking hormones is considered a form of cheating because it violates the NBA's anti-drug policy and gives an unfair advantage to the user. In addition, the use of illegal substances can also have serious health consequences and legal implications. Despite all these restrictions, occasions, there have been players who have attempted to make use of these substances. One of the most notorious users who played in the NBA was Lamar Odom, who played for several teams, including the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. Odom was a very versatile player, but he was also known for his addiction to drugs. Odom's drug use affected his performance and behavior on and off the court, and led to a suspension, divorce, and near-fatal overdose. Another player who used this type of substance was Hedo Turkoglu, who played for several teams, including the Orlando Magic and Toronto Raptors. Turkoglu was a key player for the Orlando Magic when they reached the finals in 2008, but in 2013, he tested positive for methanolone, a banned substance that increases muscle mass and strength. He admitted to taking it, but didn't know it was illegal. Hedo was suspended 20 games by the NBA for trying to be the Turkish Hulk and got smashed with the sanction. There have been other occasions where infractions have been much more serious. That's the case with Tim Donaghy, who was one of the most respected referees in the entire NBA. The Tim Donaghy referee scandal was one of the biggest scandals in NBA history, when it was revealed that Donaghy, a 13-year veteran referee, had bet on games that he officiated and influenced their outcome by making favorable or unfavorable calls. The ref admitted that he started betting on games in 2005, and he had connections to organized crime. He pleaded guilty to 2 federal charges related to the investigation and was sentenced to 15 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. The scandal damaged the credibility and reputation of the NBA and raised questions about the integrity and fairness of the game. That could be a possible explanation for moments like this.
Sixth Man of the Year award winner, and he has not disappointed in these playoffs.
Perhaps the best sixth man off the bench in these entire playoffs, Stan.
No question, and shooting 44% from 3 in the playoffs coming in.
Is going to guard Jason Tatum tonight. I mean, those final 3 minutes, just a handful of offensive possessions for him in that last quarter, forced him into 3 turnovers. What was the stir? Forced him into 3 turnovers. What was this?
Despite this, the NBA strives every year to avoid these types of situations that damage the sport's reputation, and these were the best cheating moments in the NBA.